So I found an interesting deck. This is a Sidisi deck. We've all probably seen Sidisi decks by now. But this one is on top of the three-piece combo Walking Ballista, Phyrexian Devour, and Necrotic Ooze that you put in the graveyard, and then you reanimate the Necrotic Ooze, and you shoot them for whatever life. It's also running the Painter's Servant Grindstone combo. So this gets around graveyard shenanigans and whatever. So you don't die to Rest in Peace or Scavenging Grounds or any of the other graveyard hate. You can just if you get one of these pieces, you can tutor for the other and do that. Or if you're worried about graveyard hate, you can just do that combo instead. So that seemed pretty interesting. The card's also running a few interesting inclusions from the new set. Doomfall. I don't know how I feel about this, but it's an interesting card. It is an edict that would exile an Emrakul if in a Brawl deck. Or you can use it to exile a card from somebody's hand for 3 mana, which seems less than opportune, but the flexibility of the card is why it costs 3 mana instead of 2, obviously. So it seems like an interesting addition, and also it's running Scavenging Grounds itself. I'm not sure what it's exactly looking to target, but there might be something, and as I've noted before, it's a pretty low opportunity cost to include it. The deck is also running just a ton of discard. It just really wants to make sure it's getting around counter spells and other stuff, apparently. So it's just running, like Blackmail is a really interesting inclusion. And I don't necessarily mean interesting good. It seems like it's only good if your opponent has 3 or less cards in their hand. Otherwise, they're going to hold on to their best card, and you're not going to even see that card. So I don't know. I've played Myers Toll before. It's pretty good because you usually have a lot of swamps, and if you're about to combo off, you probably have 3 or 4. They might. I don't know. It's been pretty good in the past, and then the obviously Thoughtseize Inquisition Duress. It's running Stupor. It's running Laybear of the Heart, which I really like. Laybear of the Heart. It's running Persecute and even Brain Maggot. So like this deck really wants to get in your hand. It's playing and Mesmeric Fiend. So it's trying everything it can to get into your hand, see what's in your hand, and make sure that it's open up for the combo. Oh, and obviously him. Oh, and even Distress. Wow, it's just this deck goes deep on the hand disruption. So should be interesting to play. I think it's a neat deck. It was assembled. It looks like it was assembled pretty thoughtfully. It's actually by XX Logos XX, the same guy who made the 5-0 Gitrog deck I played yesterday. So yeah. All right, we got match 1. We're on the draw. Playing against Gitrog Monster. So maybe Scavenging Ooze will come into play here. Or Scavenger Grounds. It's actually in her hand. His hand looks pretty miserable. I'm going to mulligan it. It's just all lands. This looks much better. Yeah, I do want that. Alright, he's got turn 1 ramp. I don't think I've seen many Gitrog Monster decks playing Mana Elves. It actually sucks because we've got this Liliana. Harrow, crop rotation, cultivate. Harrow and cultivate do about the same thing. They're a little bit redundant. Beast Within kills Liliana. It gives us a beast. I think crop rotation is probably the worst of it. If he finds one of the two combo pieces for crop rotation, then that kind of makes everything really bad for us. As it is, it looks like he's getting a Gitrog monster, and there's not a lot we can do about it. Do we want to tutor now? So if we tutor now, and then next turn we Rain of Filth, we get 5 mana, we tutor again, but we have no mana left. So we'd have to wait an additional turn to go off, and we have to draw an additional land. Do we tutor anyways, or do we want to wait and see if there's anything else we need? We gotta wait an additional turn no matter what. Maybe we could have buried alive this next turn. Are you not playing an additional land? Alright, well that's pretty good for us. Did he play all these? Oh, I can do the panorama next turn. Does that just do it for us? Demonic Tutor, get buried alive. Vampiric Tutor, get the other part. It plays into discard, and they do play a few pieces of discard, not a lot, but he's going to draw 3 cards next turn. We could Demonic Tutor for... So wait, okay, so we're not drawing a land next turn. So if we Rain of Filth, we have 5 mana next turn. That's not enough to... So we have to Demonic Tutor this turn. I just don't have anything to say about that. I don't know how I keep doing that. I do not know how I keep doing that. I mean, I just get in, like, the client's a little slow, and I get impatient with it, and I click, and it does take a second or two to bring up the tutor screen, and I click, and I click the wrong card. So he hasn't attacked my hand yet, so I would have just outright run if I had a Buried Live in my hand. Alright, so if we bang for Tutor, we're not drawing a land. We still have 5 mana. That's just enough for Sidisi, and that's it. so we can't. I guess he's still got card draw, so he can still look at our hand. I don't even think wrathing him like a Toxic Deluge is very good right now. Alright. So that would have disrupted us. Liliana seems poor. This Myers Toll that I didn't want seems poor. Let's take a look anyways. Let's get rid of the Recurring Nightmare, I guess. Sylvan Scrying's pretty scary too. Yeah, so we would have only had 3 mana if we had Vamp Tutored. We would have had a Buried Alive in our hand instead of the Myers Toll. I really need to be more careful when I'm tutoring. Alright. I expected that. I don't really care. Like, I get 1 block with that. It didn't add Sylvan Scrying to the revealed, even though it was revealed. Oh, jeez. Alright, so we have like 1 turn to win. Is that enough? Vampiric Tutor in a turn. Get Buried Alive. Reign of Filth gives us 7 mana. No. Wait. Painter Servant. Not quite. Because that's only 3 mana total. We're not dead yet. But we're dead next turn. I don't know if Buried Alive would have changed that if we had it in our hand. Probably. What's in our deck? Ton of discard. Painter's Servant. We're 1 mana short of Painter's Servant. We can't deluge. He's probably busy disrupting us right now. Alright. Jeez, that is so much mana. Is he just going to cast Emrakul here? Because I don't know why you get Cabal Coffers, Urborg, instead of Dark Depths and Thespian Stage. Unless you have something you're going to do with all that mana. Like already in your hand. I mean, because Dark Depths Thespian Stage draws you 2 cards when you've got a Gitrog in play. Oh, this is the right deck. I don't know, I don't see an out. Should be up here. Phyrexian Tower and Stronghold? Do you not have Dark Depths Thespian Stage in your deck? What are you casting here? 14 mana. That's an Emrakul. No? A Green Sun Zenith for 13. Alright. He was pretty disruptive anyways, so it might not have mattered if I had tutored the wrong card, or right card. Let's move on. Alright, we got game 2. We're on the draw. Against Keranos. I'm going to keep this. We're on the draw. We have 2 lands. We have a Mind Stone. We got part of one of our combos. Persecute's pretty good against him. I don't know what to name here. Do we name Zombie or we name Scarecrow? Hopefully we just draw a black land. We did not. So now I need to decide what to name here. I guess it's going to be Zombie. We have a much better chance of Gating Pain Reserve it to resolve around counter spells. Sidisi costs 5. You really only cast that once per turn. You're like, alright. I was a little worried about that. "41 lands in this deck. I still think my hand was very keepable, even assuming he'd counter that. But we did not draw a land. So that sucks quite a bit. Oh my god. We should have drawn a land in 3 turns. Like, odds are extremely in our favor. Still not a land. Alright, well, he missed one. And we hit one. No reason to do that now. Let's wait until the end of turn. I don't know what he can do about it. But we'll wait. Alright. Oh my god, that was so close. Why do I keep doing that? So we're clearly getting Boseiju. And let's him. You know, Shackles doesn't really matter against us. Alright, well, he's not drawing a card. Keranos is really good against creature decks. Alright, so we play this land. Do we persecute him uncounterably? For blue? He's scryed 2, so he's probably got something good up his sleeve. We could just Sidisi. Let's persecute him. Okay. We got Cryptic Command. We got 3 of the cards in his hand. So he's got a Harvest Pyre left. Yeah. Alright. Alright, he hit a land card and draws a card. Do we go for it here? How much does... No, we can't go for it because we got... wrong deck. This costs 3 mana to tap it. Arena? Probably wants to counter that. Tutor. Paid the wrong mana for it. Not clicking. See, that's the thing. Like, I'm double clicking over here in order to even get it to select my mana. And it did take a second. But I needed to stop clicking. I don't think there's much you can do about Grindstone here. Do we play it now? No, he could have removal. Do you play this? He played this island last turn. Alright, so he got a memory lapse. Take that. I didn't want him to memory lapse it. We Grim Tutor. Give us 2 options. We could just get Thoughtseize. And then 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We don't have enough mana. So let's just get... How much damage does Reanimate do to us? 4 mana? 4 life? It's the cheapest option. No, we need something that we can potentially play on beside you. So we need... There is one. What is it? Where is it? Imperial Seal, Exhume. Exhume. That's a sorcery. Alright. Alright, he draws a card. Mismatch Islands. Next diamond is land. Everflowing Chalice. We got 2 combos in our hand. Do we just go for it? I guess if he... So, with this combo, always pick Necrotic Ooze last. There are a couple of ones that only get the top card creature in your library, in your graveyard. I think we don't go for it. He's got a lot of counter spells. Just play that. Say go. He has more counter spells than he has ways to interfere with our graveyard. If he interferes with our graveyard, we have a couple other ways to go off next turn. So Censor actually would have countered us. We've done a lot of damage to ourselves. You get something too. Oh, I put the Necrotic Ooze in the wrong order. Doesn't matter this time, but okay. So we piloted our way around that. I don't think Keranos is specifically very good against this deck. Like I said, Keranos is good against creature decks. They play a lot of Vidalcan Shackles and Control Magic and that kind of stuff. And it's really good, and Keranos does 3 damage to creatures. It makes it really hard to keep creatures in play. But this deck plays almost no creatures. Alright, we got match 3. We're on the draw. This hand looks keepable. Green Soul Ring. Sucks a bit. Can we get a removal spell? Alright. Wow, that's a lot of mana. So is this. I mean, we got to go for that, right? We can't quite win next turn. He could Reclamation Sage. There's only so many things in their deck that can kill this thing, so... This is 6 mana, 8 mana. So that gets a Sidisi plus Buried Alive. Are we just dead next turn, though? Oh my god. Oh my god. So much mana. Alright, so we're not dead next turn because he hasn't played Azuri. We can Dark Ritual. And play Sidisi. get Buried Alive. And then this gets us 5 mana next turn, which is just enough. We could also just kill all his creatures, but I don't think that's as much fun. Is this deck even playing Toxic Deluge? It probably is. Yeah, it's playing Toxic Deluge. It's not playing Damnation. I think you only really need to play Toxic Deluge. This deck doesn't have many ways to disrupt what I'm doing here. These white border. White border's making me twitch. If you get Scavenging Ooze. Regal Force. Alright. Well, I guess you die with 7 cards in your hand. I don't think there's any 1 mana outs to this combo. Alright, so we want Necrotic Ooze last. Alright. That's the way it used to work. Why does it not work like that anymore? Can you not control the order? It put it in a random order. This is at least a really good blocker, and it buys us a turn. Oh. Alright, so I shouldn't have done that. I forgot it exiles. I can't win. I don't know. Buried Alive is supposed to put them in order. Like, I was very deliberate about doing Necrotic Ooze last, and it put it in the middle. I'm gonna file for redemption on that. All right, we got match 4. I'm on the draw. I did submit for a reimbursement. I reviewed that. There's nothing I could have done differently. Maybe there's some magic order that I'm supposed to pick, but they definitely changed it. I played a lot of Sidisi back in the day. So something changed and it probably shouldn't have. Or maybe I don't know. Um, do I want more card disadvantage? What are we playing against? Yeah, probably. Yeah, let's keep it. So, I'm going to go through the rest of this. Hopefully that doesn't come up again. If we do end up having to play Shallow Grave for some reason, we will um, we'll try and see if we can find the magic order to put them in. And we'll go from there. Because picking it last put it in the middle. And it seemed to do that both times, so maybe... But it doesn't give you an interface to actually choose the order in which they're placed in your graveyard. I know I'm getting a bit redundant, but these Moxes did not belong in the format. A little harder for me to overcome the card disadvantage, but I've got a few ways. I think I do kill the Skullbriar while it's got no counters on it. It just slows him down a ton. We're gonna land Vampooter. Is that everything we need? No, it's another turn because these both go on top of our library. Let's play the sorcery speed one first. Let's get buried alive. Alright, you got Anissa. Wonder if he just assumes we got some sort of removal. I think you play the Skullbriar anyways. But that's pretty good for us. Let me just get reanimate. Alright. Is there anything for one black? Reanimate. Combo's pretty nuts. Alright, so let's pick Necrotic Ooze first and see what happens. They put it on the top. Wonder if that's consistent. At this point, there's no interacting with the combo. Because this is all instant speed stuff. Okay, he sees it. And we win. Alright, we got match 5. We're on the play. Playing against Mareth. Oh my god, this hand. This is awesome, but is it good enough to keep? Dark Ritual Gemini. No, we have to mulligan this. Lake of the Dead, nothing else. We have to mulligan this. Alright, this is keepable. Night Whisper helps recover from some of this. Enchant creature. Okay, so that's fine. Alright, 2 lands. I mean, at least we're drawing through them. Actually, lands is really all we want. We've got the Heartless Summoning, so the following turn we can play Sidisi. And then we just want lands to play our combo out. Now, Fauna Shaman's not very good for us. I think the chances of us losing this Heartless Summoning are pretty high. Fortunately, they don't have any hand disruption. So if he doesn't deal with this right now, actually, he can't get Reclamation Sage and play it this turn. He could get Scavenging Ooze. any of the next 2 turns. I like the art on this card. It's pretty cool. Definitely a very Innistrad card. Alright, Pilgrim. We really only need the Heartless Summoning in play for 1 turn. Yes. I almost clicked no there. We want Buried Alive. Let's get Buried Alive. If you can disrupt it, it's pretty bad for us. What are you getting here? Not many decks actually play Scav. Oh, so he is playing Scavenging Ooze. I was going to say, because it just dies to removal. He could have Fauna Shaman for it. About to say, are you really going to tap out for a Scavenging Ooze? Because that defeats the purpose. Alright. I don't think he realizes he's dead this turn. He's worried about the... So yeah, we just... So if we pick Necrotic Ooze, Phyrexian Devour, Walking Ballista in that order, do they go in the reverse order? Nope, it's a random order. So be careful when playing this. Alright, and we win. Alright, so we went 3 and 2. Like, I think I've pretty fully demonstrated that we should have gone 4 and 1. And the one that we lost to, we just couldn't get there in time. So this is a really good deck. I mean, what's funny is we never got the Grindstone Painter Servant. In one of the earlier games, I thought it cost less mana than it does. You know, you just have to spend... It's not just 3 mana, it's 6 mana. You have to spend 3 mana to tap the Grindstone. You can do it the turn it comes into play, but it costs 6 mana, whereas you can do the Reanimate combo for as low as 4 mana. Usually it costs 5 mana. But if you've got Reanimate is 1 mana. And then Buried Alive. And not many decks could play around that. Like, you know, I mean, even the Scavenging Ooze, if he hadn't tapped out, I would have just played Sidisi, because he wouldn't have been able to kill the Heartless Summoning and not tap out. I would have played the Sidisi, got some removal for the Scavenging Ooze, and then just, you know, probably Dismember, so it only cost me 1 mana, and I still would have had enough mana to play the combo. So Scavenging Ooze, not the best option. That's why I like Scavenger Grounds. There's not much that this deck can do about a land. So if you have that in play, then you can just hold up 3 mana, slow this deck way down. But you do have this combo that works around that. So that's interesting. So let me open this treasure chest. And we got a Pure Steel Paladin, Ingrook's Wake, and Warren Instigator. I don't know how much the Pure Steel is worth. I think these are all 50-cent rares or something like that. Pure Steel's $1.50. Ingrook's Wake is probably valueless. Yeah, a penny. And Warren Instigator is $1. Yeah. All right, so that's not bad. All right, thank you guys for watching. You guys have a good night.